Hey, what's up guys? This is Matt, well actually post-production Matt. For one simple reason, I haven't been really talking much throughout this session because, as you'll probably see, I really needed every little bit of concentration that I needed, so yeah, you'll just see what I mean. So first thing we see here, I'm really confused because I just got handgun ammo and about 8,000 lei in total.
Naturally.
So I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this going to be like a run where I'm having only one weapon at a piece?
Securing goods is
Then
more
look at
important than
the
anything.
supplies and see
Anything, my friend.
all the other guns were placed with the with the Wolf's Bane and the grenade launcher. So I'm thinking to myself, what a wonderful world. Nah, just kidding. So I'm thinking this is going to be a different run from what I'm usually used to. And,
Delighted to.
well, there's not really that much difference except in certain aspects
I
as far as
find
the
all
enemies go,
finished.
primarily their health and damage. So what you're going to see here, I'm basically going to go through the village with a completely juiced up handgun and yeah, we'll
Pay me
just
no mind.
let's take
A
a look,
good deal,
shall we?
if I say so
On to
myself.
chapter 1. So now we start in the normal village as per usual, and I'm confused because I'm not really seeing what the gimmick is supposed to be here. I know the red skull and everything looks menacing as old balls, but I'm still not really feeling it. Up until in a few moments when I'm about to get a hit. Any second now? It was a probably a moment. Yes, there it is. And you can see my health just plummets. And in my head, it's official freakout mode. So that's what I meant with a red skull. But anyway, so the main deal here is the enemies have marginally more health and completely beefed up damage. Think damage as in hardcore, like the playthrough I just did. Also I picked their out of reach because being close to them isn't really going to be doing any favors for me because yeah, of the damage output they dish out. So being as far away from them as possible and getting extra money, extra damage for that is going to be of worth and value around here. So I was kind of hesitant. I wanted to go for the break shot first and try to maybe do a little synergy with headshots, but then I just went for the execution, which I think paid its due dividends over the course of the village run. Yeah, like you saw with that Lycan, the less health he has, the more damage he's going to receive, or at least as long as he's under the 30% threshold. And now we can see with the Moroika the 1k damage. I think in the long term it might have saved me up on some ammo that I might have used up to really knock their health down, but I haven't really seen that big a difference in the later levels. So up until now everything has been pretty much the standard procedure when you play this game mode on the very first level. Just clean up the remaining Moroika, grab a new ability, and off you go. Also, I think that was also a good idea of me picking Adrenaline over anything else, simply due to the fact that either whichever way you slice it, you're going to get hit, and with Adrenaline you have a little bit more of a chance Jesus to Christ, survival. they do damage though. Goodness me. Okay, and I also just realized I forgot to check in. So we need at least 500k for this. Okay, got it. So next we have the bastion where the assault, or siege rather, is about to take place. Also what you're going to notice is I did quite a few mistakes in this part, and you can also see my health switched from orange to lime green thanks to adrenaline, or adrenaline, whatever you pronounce it. I think it's adrenaline. But anyway, I end up dropping a few combos in here because I was like on a time pressure, you could say, and I got hit in here again. Luckily I had the med. But this is the point where I get really nervous about how I'm going to approach this. Also, lucky shot out of the air. Because one thing, and I rightly picked up healthy, because it not only does increase my overall health, but if I'm at a low threshold, it also heals me completely. So it's basically like a free first aid med. So trying to somewhat stagger and maintain my combo, but it didn't really work out in the end. Also ended up getting Pistol Master because I don't really want to be that close to them for Infighter to take effect. So I had to kind of play my cards correctly here, not just pick skills willy-nilly. Also, I remember in the previous level picking up Out of Reach. It's supposed to give me more damage the further I am away from the enemy, but so far I haven't really seen any improvements to my damage output. But then again, I might have missed it by a few numbers. I mean, there are a few other people who are way better versed at this than me, so what do I know? I was kinda hesitant. I wanted initially to go for lightning speed, but then I was a bit wary and nervous. Because it also increases the damage output that I receive. I was kinda worried about me getting one-shotted. Because one hit from them, as in on hardcore, it really puts you at the bare minimum of health possible. And that's the end of it. Okay, this is getting really intense. Goodness me. So, for the final section, it's pretty much all the same stuff, really. Only this time, with the first appearance of the Soldat, you can really see the issues I'm going to have later on. I advise you to take a, or not really take, but keep a close look on his weak spot. Like the one that deals the most damage and it's guarded by a drill. So there, in case you haven't seen it, the normal version, the one with the single drill, has a bad tendency to stagger back and then guard its weak spot. And since I have the pistol and not a hard-hitting weapon, for example like the shotgun or the grenade launcher, because I haven't bought it in this run, it's really hard to kinda break through their guard and make them drop it. And as you'll see later on, I do try it with the handgun, doesn't really work very well. And I end up basically wasting a few bullets. And I'm not going to lie, it gets really frustrating later on. Also, we can see it here. Adrenaline doing its work. Also slightly beefed up because I picked it up a second time, I believe. And I think this is the second run-in with the Soldat. Yes, that's going to be one of my main problems. Since small arms fire doesn't really do much, only like high caliber weapons such as the sniper rifle, the shotgun, might be able to drop it, and I go for thick-skinned this time. Just because I'm somewhat worried about the damage I might get by accident. I got Super Guard, which is not going to be that much useful for the rest because I'm close to the end. And now comes one of my favorite bits. I end up whipping out the Wolfsbane, and I think I shot a weakness somewhere at the Varkolak and ended up completely one-shotting him at like 90% health. Maybe I shot a weakness I didn't know of? Look at that damage, 13k. Not bad if I say so myself. But that's pretty much the long and short of it. And at the end, I did manage to pull off an S. Oh boy. Oh, a double S too. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Alright. Okay. Castle 2. Oh. So there really is like a double section for everything else. For Christ's sake.
Stand by.
Alright. So I start with Castle 2, and immediately I know I'm in for a bad time. Simply for one reason. And yeah, I got sick of the normal music and went and made the background music volume down and inserted something completely of my own, which I think sounds also a little bit better. But anyway, bad times are ahead, because I have this guy to deal with. It's basically a fully armored Soldat, and I don't really have any big guns to kind of strip his armor off or deal any significant damage, which means I have to use my mines and the pipe bomb I've gotten very, very carefully. Because if I screw this up, I'm done for. I'll have to restart. But other than that small mishap, there's not really anything significant about this area. Just use everything you have to your advantage, and here I got hit from behind. Which kinda gave me a little anxiety for a second, because I thought this was going to be the end of the run. But everything seems to have worked out in the end. You can kinda see me here actively targeting the drill and trying to knock it down with a handgun fire just out of sheer frustration. Which, spoiler, doesn't really work. Even though his armor was a little bit stripped down, I just lobbed the grenade out because I was really getting sick of it. I just wanted him to get down as soon as possible. That, and they're really tanky in this mode, so if you don't know what you're doing, they're going to be basically the combo breakers, if you know what I mean. But now that the biggest threat was dealt with, everything else is pretty much smooth sailing. And this is the reason why I said pretty much. So, one thing that I realized, or maybe I'm just making it up, I don't know, is that their attack speed also seems to be way faster. At least faster than what I'm used to seeing. And now I'm starting to kind of like cheese a little bit, because in this mode he also takes like a million years to recover from like death's door to the normal red state. So I'm kinda anxious and trying to take my time, but also keep the combo alive as long as it's possible. And that's pretty much the end of this section. Talk about a rough start, right? Jesus, this is going to be an ordeal. There's not really much I can say about this run through. It's pretty much same old. Just kinda trying to avoid the Soldads as much as is possible. Or not really avoid, but kinda try to outsmart them, you know? To really burst them down if possible. Also, I have no idea why I picked Agile instead of Execution here. I guess you could say it was on Reflex. Then again, I'm pretty sure if I picked either, it would really have its uses. In certain situations, at least. Yeah, I think my biggest grievance is not really the fact that I guard their weak spot, because, I mean, they're programmed that way, and that was way much damage than I had anticipated. But that went right away pretty quick. The one thing I really have an active disdain because of that guard thing would be that they're effective time wasters. So unless they lift their drills up or down, depending on how they're going to attack, you really can't do much except wait and then shoot when the time is right. Even more so in this phase, when you don't really have a strong weapon like a shotgun or a sniper rifle, or unless you manage to buy a grenade launcher. And yes, there, without a doubt, without even hesitating, I go straight for the healthy perk. Also a last second block. Also, I was really anxious about this part because I had those two blue birds to shoot down. I wasn't really sure if a missed gunshot would scare them off, so yeah, that was also pretty unsettling. Oh no, wait, I'm stupid. This was the wrong section. Well, whoops. That comes later on, but yeah, I pretty much spoiled it now. Sorry. blow up the subcar real quick. And take care of the Tin Men. I was kind of contemplating if I should use a mine there to kind of burst them down, but I thought different. So I thought maybe just alternate between them and the Lycans and try to keep your combo going. Also, you will see later on, it was a really lucky pick of me to pick Super Guard over Healthy, and you'll see in a few. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this area. I really don't have a good feeling about this one. So this is also not a very good start. I kinda misjudged the distance. Also, you can audibly hear me like cussing under my breath because I got hit like this early in the game. But yeah, sometimes you're going to get hit, there's not really much you can do about it. So the pressure is on. I have to be really careful, otherwise if I get hit one more time, I'm toast. I'm just hoping for the next one to be a Healthy. And it turns out it was. But you'll see it's going to be diminished very, very soon. And here's also the moment where Super Guard really came in clutch. So we see here Bella, or I think Cassandra, came in to visit. Pretty much the same standard procedure, even though she's jerking out a lot. Okay, that was one successful block and a shove. So, just trying to basically thin the herd. And I believe here is the moment where I make a little screw up. I managed to recover from it pretty quick, and I basically end up backing myself into a corner. Yeah, between that little armchair and the stairs. And also I dropped my block down here prematurely and went back straight on death's door. So the anxiety here is at an all-time high. Clutch guard. It's pretty useful in this mode, since yeah, without it I would have been probably dead like a minute ago. And it's at this point that I'm really freaking out because Ethan just refuses to recover. I'm deep in the red and really nervous when it comes to health. Also, we have here Daniela visiting. And now here comes the part also where I made a big mistake. She teleports away. I assume she's going to return back to her normal spawn point, and she ends up giving me a sneak attack. And once again, a visit to death's door. Just knock, knock, knocking. Also, this was not really necessary, but I just began unloading the the grenade launcher out of frustration. Because even this early in the level, I was really getting fed up with it. Believe me. Also, I cannot describe to you how lucky I was to get a gruesome gourmet from that drop. It basically gives you health for every enemy you kill, so I managed to restore myself to orange health by killing the Samka. It was literally a godsend for the rest of this level. Now, due to the gruesome gourmet, I managed to somewhat restore myself back to normal health. Also, now that I bought the grenade launcher, I can kinda utilize it, not primarily as a damage dealer, but more like a guard breaker, primarily for the Soldats. Also, the last daughter was nothing spectacular either. No big brain plays, I was just fed up with the whole shebang and wanted her gone as soon as possible. I mean, I could have tried to beat her with a handgun, but I was way too frustrated to care. Sorry about that. Jesus. So, anxiety is at an all-time high here. Not only do I have to deal with the Soldats at the start of the level, I also remember I have Angie to deal with, and a fully armored Soldat at the tail end of the level. So, yeah, it's just pure focus and trying to make the most of the situation. Just primarily using the grenade launcher as a block breaker, and then popping up the rest with a handgun. So now that I've got rid of the lichen and the Moroaika on the stairs, you can really see that my hand starts to kinda shake and tremble a little bit. Because I'm always getting really close to dropping the combo and I need the time and the points as much as possible. Because the last thing I want to do is go through this hell and have to restart because I got an A as a rank. Here's where I also get really anxious, as I mentioned before. I get rid of the few lichens here, and now I'm worried if I'm going to shoot the birds with a handgun. Are they going to fly away if I misfire? So that was also like a point of contention for me, just to be anxious all over the place. So after the double grape, I mop up everything, get myself a upgrade, and now I take the shots. And a 1, and a 2. We got a full score, and the combo keeps growing. And this is where the worst part comes into play. Aside from the few burning Moroaika, there's also a fully armored Soldat about to come out of the cellar. Also now I'm about to, like, thinking up ways how to incorporate him into my combo and not having to drop it because he's such a damage sponge. So I'm mopping up the burning Moroaika a little bit, just waiting for him to come stumbling out. Corpse Combuster coming clutch into play. And there he is. I was using the strategy to keep the other Moroaika around as a kinda combo saver while dealing with this guy. And as luck would have it, another one spawned right beside me. Got a little bit of damage, but that is fine as well. And I think this is the point where I begin to slowly freak out and just start unloading the grenade launcher in an attempt to save my combo. And I managed it, at last. And now I'm not really worried about keeping the combo, and as I go for Angie, the last shank. But I do end up getting the combo in as well, so I'd say all's well that ends well. And at long last, I finally made it. Just going to grab the time downstairs, and time to finish the level officially. Okay, this has to be it, right? No way! Nice. Even though I thought I would majorly screw up on this one, I did manage to get a triple S at the end, after all. Okay, the factory 2. Man, the last 2 are going to be a complete pain in the ass. Just because of the simple fact that I don't really have a shotgun or anything to really knock their guard down when it comes to the Soldats, the drill robot things. But yeah, I'll just have to see and look how things turn out and plan accordingly. So now most weapons have been replaced with a Wolfsbane and a grenade launcher, so I have to kind of play into that. I'll probably also have to train a little bit to improve my accuracy and stay as far from them away as possible. This is a completely different story. First, and probably the only thing, would really be the damage that these shitheads are doing. Anyway, you've probably heard my comments, the otherworldly ones, because I had to be careful and concentrated while I'm playing, so yeah, hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, especially the screw-ups, if I really made any, was too focused to really pay mind to anything else. So anyway, thank you for watching. This has been Matt from Nova Kaiser Entertainment, and as always, take care, everybody.